Hi everyone, welcome back to Sports Kathi. I'm Vaishakh here, and with me is Rohit and Karan. I'm just going through the match at MCG, which India won by 8 wickets. So just providing a short summary of the match. Australia won the toss and decided to bat first, and it turned out to be really good for India because India dismissed Aussies for 195, thanks to 4 by 56 from Jasprit Bumrah and 3 by 35 by Ashwin. And after that, India responded, with a very resilient performance, 326, thanks to a captain's knock, the only century in this match, 112 by Ajinkya Rahane, and a 57 by Ravindra Jadeja, a very valuable support from the lower order. And I think the pick of the innings was what followed after that. After India got that lead, Australian second innings, when the pitch looked, with much less assistance to the bowlers and look, very good for batting. India responded by dismissing Australia for 200. It was a all-round performance. All the bowlers contributed to it, and India was set a target of 70, which India could chase pretty easily. They lost the Agarwal and Pujara a bit early, but after that did quite comfortable with Rahane and Gill to chase that target down. And I just wanted to highlight one thing, that is that India dismissed Steve Smith both the times in this match with a line towards the leg stump, which generally is considered to be Steve Smith's, his strength, that line towards the leg stump, because he shuffles, and that's how he compensates his technical flaw of shuffling that across. But India could exploit that weakness, and that weakness can be exploited. Maybe it's a good thing to look forward to. Let me give it to Rohit for a bit more detailed summary of the match, and to put to context, after that loss in Adelaide, what does this win really mean?
Yes, Vaishakh. Firstly, yes, what you talked about Steve Smith was very relevant. I think in the pre-show and the preview of the series, we actually had mentioned a small point on how bowling onto stumps of Steve Smith is an opportunity you should look into, and that actually did work. So yes, it'll be interesting going forward what the situation is. Now coming to what the relevance of this win and how great it was. Firstly, the series is now leveled 1-1. Winning a match in Australia is, firstly, it's a rare thing. Now, if you look at the table, I'm just putting a table here of what India has achieved in Australia in the history of Indian cricket in Australia. And this is just the 8th win for India in 50 matches. So that just shows how rare and win this is, or how rare winning in Australia is. We have 29 losses, 13 draws, and only 8 wins. So it is a really rare feat just to win a match in Australia. Now, what makes this win even more special is that coming into this match, India not only had lost their previous match, but also been bowled out for 36 runs, which is the lowest score for India in Test cricket. And then to make things worse, Kohli, the best batsman, Indian captain, he had to go back to India. Mohammad Shami, one of the spearheads of Indian lineup, he was injured out of the match and the series. So, when we did the preview, if you remember, when we did the preview, none of us actually really expected India to win the match. And, not just us, if you follow Indian cricket, the whole talk in the media, the whole talk everywhere was that if India can avoid a 4-0 in this series, that would be a success. And people were actually saying that, we are going to have another embarrassing defeat in MCG. So this win, from that context, again, was, something which people did not expect. Ravi Shastri actually came out and told something about it. He said that, this win pointed out that, what he said was that the win pointed out that the win here today will go down in the annals of Indian cricket and possibly the world cricket itself as one of the greatest comebacks in history of the game. So, and to be fair, I don't generally share the same opinion as Shastri, and I have to say that this was actually a really great win. Maybe Shastri would have still exaggerated a bit, but if I have to place this win in the history of Indian cricket, how crucial a win it was, I would rate it, say, above Perth in 2008. I would say that, okay, maybe not as great as Kolkata 2001, but it would be there, up there with one of the greatest wins we have. So this win is historically also one of the greatest wins for Indian cricket. Now, I just want to bring in another context for this Indian win is that in the terms of World Test Championship. So coming into the series, we had done a video where we had explained that India will need to win 5 out of the 8 tests, that is going to be played to qualify for the finals in England. Now, with this win, what it means is that we have to win 4 more matches on the next 6. But what that actually means is that we have 4 match series coming in India against England, and that we are expected to win that 4 matches. So that means India really does not have to win any more match in Australia. Even if we do not win any more matches in Australia, we still can qualify for the World Test Championship finals. So that puts us, as an Indian team in a slightly more comfortable position. And as a fan, I feel more optimistic of our chances now for qualifying for the finals in England. Anyways, I can keep talking about the significance of this win in many fronts. But then, let's talk about the heroes, the players who actually shaped us this win. So, firstly, let's start with the stand-in captain and man of the match of this match, Ajinkya Rahane. I was one of those who were really skeptical about Rahane getting back his form in away conditions. In the series preview, if you remember, which we did before IPL, I actually had even mentioned that if Hardik is fit and if Vihari and Hardik are available, then they should play over Rahane. And I said that because that's because Rahane scored his last century in Sena conditions. And I say Sena, that is South Africa, England, New Zealand, and Australian conditions. His last century was back in 2014, coincidentally at the same venue in MCG. And he had not scored a century in away conditions in these countries in 6 years. And even his home form was, I wouldn't say the best. He was even dropped, if you remember, during the 2018 South African series. So that's the reason why I had my reservations coming into the series that maybe you know he might not be the best batsman to play for India. But then having said all that, what he displayed or what he showed in this match, that is a player of that is of highest quality. To be fair, and coming to the match, he was a captain of this match also. And this knock which he showed is that the typical gritty knock of a batsman, of a captain. One of those, that, what do you call that, the Steve Waugh kind of knock which you will see in the Australian captain showing, and that's exactly what he did show in this knock. This was not that flamboyant innings which you expect from Rahane, not the one he scored 147 in 2014 in MCG. This was a gritty knock, a fighting knock. When he came into bat, the score was 61 for 2 on second day. And soon enough, we lost Pujara and the score was 64 for 3. And the Indian innings could have gone very badly. He held the innings together. That partnership initially with Vihari, where he literally did, play the hard knock, as you say. He played the way, he's not used to, or we are not used to seeing him play, where he left balls outside the off. Because one thing which I felt always with Rahane is that he might look very comfortable playing the ball, and suddenly he will just play one outside the off stump, edge one to the slip, play, or give a catch to the cover and lose his wicket. What he did was that he took that shot completely out, at least for the first part of the innings. You did not see him play outside of the off stump shots. It was pretty much like how Virat Kohli did, in England when he went to England in 2018, kind of eliminating, but obviously not to that extent. But Rahane did control himself from playing outside the off stump, at least during the initial phase of the match or of his innings. And then once Pant came in and once the momentum started changing, and when I felt the Pant innings was extremely important for that. He changed the momentum, and once the momentum was changing, then we saw the Rahane 2.0. We saw the Rahane we know. He started, putting his foot down. He started showing his dominance. He started playing those shots outside the off stump. The runs started coming, and you could see that Rahane, who was scoring at a strike rate of 30 or 25 to 30, suddenly started scoring a strike rate of 60 to 70, and his innings ended up with a strike rate of over 50 runs. So which shows that he started putting his dominance, and that is very important, because when that partnership with Jadeja, Jadeja is someone who, when he came into bat, we did not know what to expect. And Rahane actually, for me, carried that partnership. So for me, that was a very good innings, a well planned innings, I would say. And Rahane himself did say something important in the post-match conference. In many ways, he rated his century as not the best century he has scored. He told the century back in Lords was his best, but he told that this innings was a display of character, and that is exactly what it was, and that's exactly what Team India wanted. Team India wanted an innings of character after what happened in last match, after being all out for 36. To show the innings of character, that's what we wanted, and that's exactly what we got from Ajinkya Rahane. So he deserves a lot of credit, and and I just have to say that I just want to also mention one part about, because I just talked about Rahane, the batsman. I also want to talk about slightly about Rahane, the captain. This team has been successful, in bowling out the opposition. And one of the main driving factors for that has been the aggressiveness of Kohli. We say that Kohli is someone who never, you know, goes down. He always says that puts the fight up, and he pumps the bowlers to play well and give the 100%. Now, Rahane, to be fair, did the exact same. He showed the exact same ruthlessness which Kohli is famous for, but without that same animation that goes on with Kohli. So it was good to see Rahane actually being aggressive, but not being animated. That will actually be seen if you remember in the first innings, the field placement. I felt the field placement for especially for Smith and to an extent Labuschagne in the first innings was really good. Not every day you see a leg slip and a I don't know what do you call that, short leg backward point or short backward point leg side. You don't see them very common in Test match these days. And he came with that plan. He had a very clear plan and he deployed it, and it came and it ripe dividends. So that for me was a very good aggressive field setting. And similarly, introducing Ashwin in the first innings, for me, one of the key decisive moments was bringing Ashwin early into ball. First change baller to be Ashwin. Not many expected that to happen on a first day in MCG, where the ball is supposed to swing and where it was swinging. To be fair, he got in Ashwin. He got a wicket of Wade, and more importantly, he took the wicket of Smith. And that for me was one of the most, or one of the decisive moments of the cricket of the match. Anyways, so that is about Rahane, the captain. A lot more I can keep talking about. I don't want to go in there about only about talking about Rahane, because we had other heroes also. Because this match couldn't have been won with just one player. This match was about a team performance, and everyone had to put their hand up, and everyone did. And one of the key players who actually came into this match and put their hand up and delivered was Ravindra Jadeja. When he was brought into this team, it was mainly, I would say, to give balance to the team. His batting form in recent years have been, I would say, really good, extremely good. I would call it spectacular. And his bowling also has been, I would say, really good. That's been so far good, and he has just maintained it. So his batting has improved, and that's what's been. And I'm just putting up some numbers here for the viewers to see. As you can see that from pure statistics point of view, he has been the best all-rounder going around in the world since 2016, by a margin, that is. But then whether he can be a force in an away match in Australia is something we were not sure about. Yes, he did play that knock of 80 last time when we were here in Australia, but the conditions were slightly different. At that time, India were dominating a match, and his role was to go and score some quick runs, and he did that. But in this match, coming in, what we expected of him was not just that scoring quick runs, but more of a fighting knock from him. And when he walked down to bat, the score was something like that. When he walked on to bat, the score was 173 for 5. India were in a position where things could have gone in any direction. If you remember what happened in the first innings in the first match, we lost our last 5 wickets for 50 odd runs. And same thing could have happened here also when Jadeja came into bat. But that is where we saw that Jadeja 2.0, Jadeja the batsman, and he showed how much his batting has evolved from a late order basher to a mature batsman, who has, he famously scored those triple centuries in Ranji cricket. He showed those skill sets. He supported Rahane in to build that partnership. He was, as I mentioned earlier with Rahane, he was not, Jadeja was not the aggressor. Jadeja was the player who was the rock in the batting. He did not play a false shot till he got out, till, with the second new ball when the Stark came in with the tactic of bounces. He did not play a false shot. His shots were in the middle of the bat. He looked so, I would say, composed while batting. And that 121-run partnership with Jadeja for me was the most, I would say, the most decisive moment of the most decisive partnership of the entire match. The key turning point. That 121 partnership ensured that India goes in with a very handy lead going to second innings, and that actually ensured that we had a buffer which we did not have in the first match when we went into the second innings. So it was extremely important from a batting point of view. Now, as I told you, when Jadeja came into the match, it was not just about for his batting. He had to contribute as an all-rounder, and he did that. To be fair, as a bowler, he bowled only 20 overs in the entire match. I think 5 overs in the first innings and 15 overs in the second innings, and that is mainly because to be fair, the main bowlers did perform their task well. But when he was called upon to bowl those 20 overs, he did bowl really well. He picked up 3 wickets. At an incredible over rate, which you always expect from him, and considering only just over 2 runs per over. So he did his work as you expect from Jadeja to do in bowling. No drop in that. At the same time, maintaining this same effort or better effort in batting. And then, his fielding, as usual, was top notch. That catch of Wade was a really good one. That was a straightforward catch in many ways, but given Shubman Gill came and collided with him, and made things difficult for him. And given that we dropped 5 catches in the first match, that catch when it went up in the air, I would say it was like a slightly tense moment. And because it's Jadeja under the catch, it was, he did it really well. He completed really well, and he also took the catch of Cameron Green today. Which was more of a straightforward catch. So his fielding, as usual, was solid. So now, I felt his position or his involvement in the team gave us that flexibility, gave us an extra option for bowling, especially when Umesh Yadav, got injured. Unfortunately, he could come in and chip in those overs. That's why he bowled 15 overs in the second innings, 3 times more than what he did in the first innings, and that he showed that he can do that. And I'm sure, going into Sydney Test now, he will have a bigger role to play because Sydney historically is supposed to favor spin bowling, and I think we will see more of the Jadeja of the bowler. And I really hope Jadeja, the batsman, continues what he did in MCG, which was nothing short of spectacular. So, anyways, I hand over to Karan to talk about other players and what their contributions are, what he found to be vital in the series. So, off to you, Karan.
Thanks a lot, Rohit. That's a very detailed analysis of all the beautiful performances we had this test this during this test match. I remember there was a saying which goes that you can only win a test match if you pick up 20 wickets. You might score 650 runs, 700 runs, but if you don't pick up 20 wickets, you're not going to win a test match. And that is something which changed in this match, I feel. I mean, India was bowling well in the last test as well, but this was a complete dominating performance with respect to bowling. And the leader of a bowling, or the leader of the pack, as we say, was Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, we all remember when he came into the IPL, he's only a T20 bowler. Then he proved everyone wrong by getting into the ODI squad. And then everyone is like, he's only a white ball bowler. He went back into Ranji, he went into first class, he picked up wickets. He came back into the test format, and he started picking up wickets. And then you always had Ishant Sharma or Shami who were around him. He was never the leader of our pack. We always had someone around him. But when this series started with Ishant Sharma being injured, and we had lost Shami after the last game as well, the only experienced fast bowler we had was definitely Umesh Yadav, but it was predominantly Bumrah, because he was the one who would start off with the new ball. And it was very crucial to what he did throughout this test match. In both the innings, he picked up 4 wickets for 56 runs in the first innings and 2 wickets for 54 runs in the second innings, where the total was 6 wickets taken by conceding 110 runs. The more important thing in the second innings was that even though he picked up 2 wickets, he picked up the crucial wicket of Steven Smith. I know the ball brushed through his leg stump and just hit the bails, or somehow he got. I mean, people will say he was lucky, but getting the prized wicket of Steven Smith in Australia, in Melbourne, is very crucial, because Steven Smith loves playing at MCG. Keeping that in mind, even when Bumrah was not bowling, he was always around the younger bowlers. He would always tell Siraj, it's okay, you could do this, you could do that. Or when Umesh Yadav was bowling, he was always supporting the bowlers. Even when Ashwin and Jadeja came around to bowl, Jasprit Bumrah was always there. So that felt like he's the leader of the bowling, or the leader of the pack, and he knows what's happening. And provided that in the next series, if we have a full strengthened bowling with Dishant coming back or Shami coming back, having Bumrah is very crucial to India if it wants to win the Test Championship, because he's the right kind of bowler. He troubles the batsman when he starts bowling with the new ball, and even when he comes in with a slightly old ball, it does not give too much room. So the batsmen are scared of predominantly playing Jasprit Bumrah, because the reason why they're scared is because they don't know what line he's going to bowl. He can bowl you a short ball in the first go, and then he can just vary his ball while coming in as a Yorker. That is one thing which I felt Bumrah did really well. The other players I would like to mention here are the debutants. The first being Shubman Gill. We all heard that Shubman Gill is this classy player. He scored about 450 runs in the IPL for KKR. He has a brilliant first class average of 69 and he's been scoring runs. But when you come to Test cricket and on an international level, it is different compared to your IPL and your first class average. On top of that, he was opening the innings for India where Mayank Agarwal got out early in both the innings, and he was facing the strongest bowling attack in the world, in my opinion. And he scored a decent 45 and 35 in both the innings. Both the innings he showed character. What was good about him is that even though the Australians were trying to pin him down, he didn't give up. If it was a good ball, he left it, he defended well. But the second he got a chance that he could do something about it, you could see that he would come up with a cover drive or a straight drive. That is something which is very important in Test cricket, with his character. And I feel Shubman Gill is full of it. Considering whatever his first class averages, I think Shubman Gill is ready for international cricket on a Test level. And I think India starts grooming him for either as an opener or as a middle order, depending on how they see fit. But Shubman Gill was very impressive, and I'm pretty confident he's going to open in the remaining two Test matches. The other debutant we had in this game was Mohammad Siraj. Even though we know that Mohammad Siraj has a beautiful first class record where he's picked up 157 wickets in 39 matches, when you come to the Test level on an international level and playing against Australia in Australia, it was definitely hard. So when he started off in the first innings, he was a bit shaky, but then he came back really well, picking up 2 wickets for 40 runs in the first innings and 3 wickets for 37 in the second innings. What was crucial about this particular performance from Siraj is that he had a lot of emotional baggage coming with him. His father wanted him to play for the Indian national team, but his father passed away while he was in Australia, and because of quarantine rules, he couldn't go. He couldn't go back home. Keeping that in mind, the way he bowled, the variation he showed, he looked like a bowler which India can trust. Moreover, in the second innings when Umesh Yadav got injured, he showed up his hand and he's like, okay, I will be the fourth bowler and I will make sure I can get those over through. That was the one very good thing about Mohammad Siraj, that he did not let the pressure of playing on international level bow him down, and instead he stood up and he made the most of whatever chances he had. The other thing I would want to point about is that at this point of time, the Indian team is missing some big names. India is missing Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Mohammad Shami, or maybe a Nishant Sharma. Even though they're missing four crucial players, the bench strength, which we would say like a Shubman Gill or a Siraj, these guys have stepped up, saying that even if that we don't have an 18, we are still able to perform. And that is one thing which was very good to see, that our bench strength was performing really well, and we were able to beat Australia in Australia. So that's all I have from my end. I'll hand it over to Vaishakh to take it forward.
Thanks for that detailed analysis. I don't want to move forward with more after this. It was really good listening to both of you. Let's hope the Sydney Test also brings some happy news again. It's long forward. We hope that match do happen. As of now, the match is supposed to happen. So let's wait for the next year. So Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you are having a good time. Please like our video. If you like the content, please do subscribe to get more videos like this, to watch more videos. And do comment what you saw in this match, if there is anything missed out, of any players we missed out. I mean, I think we went in detail about the players we wanted to, but we could not. There could be, it was pretty much a team performance. So there could be many players who we could have mentioned and we have not. So please do that in the comment box. We would like to listen back from you. So we meet you in the next year with the news about the Sydney Test. Until next time, stay safe. Goodbye.